Okay, well, this is going to be something a little different for me. Usually I teach Don Reno-style banjo here on YouTube, but about 6 months ago I decided I wanted to learn to play the Dobro, and Josh Graves-style Dobro specifically. And as far as I'm concerned, Josh Graves is still the king of the Dobro. He's the best there ever was and the best there ever will be, in my opinion. And his tone, timing, and taste has never been equaled. It's never been beat. He knew just what to do and what not to do. A lot of people these days overplay a lot. They put a lot of stuff in there that's not really necessary. Josh was really just a musical genius as far as I'm concerned. But I've posted a few tunes online to kind of document my progress while I'm learning. Like I said, I'm not an expert Dobro player. In fact, I don't consider myself a Dobro player. Not yet, anyway. I've got a lot of things to learn, but I've posted a few tunes that I think I've got down pretty close to the way he played it. Of course, he's kind of like Don Reno. He never played the same thing twice, so he would vary things from record to record or either live or whatever. But I've had a few people ask for help with some of these tunes, and on this one here, Hound Dog Ramble, I thought I would just show you the way I play it, the way I figured it off the record. This particular version is the version from the Flying South album he did with Kenny Baker. Like I said, he does it differently in different albums. He also called this, on the Flying South album, he called it Spanish Moss. The original name of it's Hound Dog Ramble. And he also called it Happy Times on another album. But he was good for doing that, renaming songs and putting them on different albums. But this is kind of the way he played it on the Flying South. This is the way I figured it out anyway. So it may not be 100% correct, but it'll get you close if you're trying to learn it. Okay, let's start this off by hitting the second string open, and we're going to hammer on to the first fret on the second string, and then immediately follow that by the first string open and then the second string open. So it sounds like this. Okay. Then we're going to hit the fifth fret on the first string. Then we're going to brush the strings, come back up with the middle finger on the first string, so it sounds like this. So, and then you're going to hit the ninth fret on the first string. So, we're going to brush the strings again. Then we're going to hit the fifth fret on the first string again, to the fourth fret, to the second, and then we're going to pull off the second fret on the first string. Then we're going to pull off the first fret on the second string to the second fret on the third string. So we're ending up in a D chord there. So, all right, it's just two chords in the whole song. So the first part's G, and then it goes to D. So, So we're ending up in D there. And then we're going to go into this little D passage. You're going to hit the 4th string open, your 4th fret. All right. To the 2nd fret on the 3rd string. Then you're going to hit your G string open. It's going to be kind of hard to explain. Like that. Back to the 4th fret on the 4th string. Then your G string again. So it sounds like that. And then we're going to slide into the 5th fret from your 4th on the 3rd string. Stop on the 4th fret and then hit the G string open. Back to the 4th fret on your 4th string. So the whole thing. Whoop. All right. And then all right. Just a little variation there at the end of it. 4th string open again. 4th fret. G string open after the 2nd fret on the 3rd string. So back to the 4th fret. Your G string, and then you slide into the 4th to 5th. And then you're going to hit your 1st string open. And then your 2nd string open. Okay, it's a little confusing. I had to think about it while I was doing it. So let me play that whole D section slow so you can get it. So let's play all of that. I'll go through the whole thing there. Okay, so then it starts again, basically like the first part. All right, so you do this again. All right, so that's the difference. So you play the first part and then you play that again, but the end of it's different. The difference there is all right, the first time you end up on the 2nd string open. All right, at the end of it you go end up on your G string, your 3rd string, at the end of the passage instead of your 2nd string. All right, so it's basically the same thing except for the last note. You end up on the 2nd string the first time, you end up on your G string or your 3rd string the last time. So let me play that whole thing. Okay, I missed it a little bit there, but I think you can get it from that. Okay, let's get into the second break that Josh did here, and he starts this off with a lick that's real similar to the way he kicked off Kentucky, Gretna Green, and he also uses this lick as an ending sometimes. And the lick I'm talking about is... Okay, so you've probably heard him do that. Well, this beginning of this break is very similar to that, but it's different. What he's doing is he's hitting the 6th string open, and then he's hitting the 3rd string open, and then he's hammering on the 2nd fret, and then he's hitting the 3rd string open again. Alright, so it sounds like this. Alright. Sometimes he'll vary this. He'll hit the 3rd string twice. Alright. So you don't have to do it the same way every time. And that's kind of the way Josh played anyway. It's off the top of his head. So you can do either way. Alright. So then we're going to move up to your 7th fret. And we're going to be on the 5th, or the actually will be on the 6th, 5th, and 4th, and 3rd strings. So after this, we're going to go to your 7th fret. Alright, and we're going to bounce back to your 5th fret on your 3rd string. So you're going to hit your 6th string, and then your 3rd string, and then to your 5th fret on your 3rd string, and then we're going to hit your 4th string back to your 6th. So, alright, like that. Alright, and this is going to be a little hard to explain, to play it slow. Let's see. Alright, now so I'm going back and forth from the 6th to the 3rd. Alright, so I hope that makes sense. Just watch my hands there. Then we're going to go to the 5th fret, and we're going to hit the 3rd and then the 6th string. Alright, and then we're going to slide from the 2nd to 3rd fret on your 3rd string. And then we're going to hit your 6th string in between there. And then your G string open. So, kind of have to be in the moment with the rhythm to do it right, but I think you can figure it out from there. So that whole thing, and then we're going to go right back into might have went a few too many times there, but like I said, I kind of need to be in the moment or the rhythm of it to do it right. But those are the basic notes. Alright, so that would be the 2nd break that he does. I think you can get it from that. Okay, so let's get into this 3rd variation that Josh did. And after you do that 2nd break, you know, that 2nd break, typically he would go back into the 1st break. Alright, so you would just do your 1st break again, usually. Like I said, Josh would do whatever he wanted to at the time, however he was feeling, and add little variations in there. So don't just stick to the way I'm showing you. But typically that's what he did. I think that's what he did on the Flying South album. He would go right back into the 1st break again. But this 3rd variation that he does is pretty tricky. And it's not what you would come natural, I think, or what you would think he would do. Because I'll show you a much easier way to do it. Which is basically the same notes, but it's a different sound. But what he does here is he's jumping from the 4th fret on your 3rd string, and then he's hitting your 1st string open, and then he's hitting the 9th fret on your 1st string, and your 1st string open again, back to the 4th fret on your 3rd string, then your 1st string open, and then your 5th fret on your 1st string, and then your 1st string open. I think I explained that right. So all right, and that may not seem too hard, but when you're playing this thing up to speed, it's really okay. Now that's extremely hard to do. Now, for some reason, I don't know why he did it, but it does give it a different sound to do that. You could also hit the 6th or the 2nd string open instead of coming back to the 4th fret on your 3rd string each time, because that's really where the difficulty is, where you're jumping back to this 4th fret on your 3rd string. So that's the same as your 2nd string open. All right, so what you could do is hit the 2nd string open and then your 1st string open. So, and then your 9th, and then your 1st string open, then your 2nd, then your 1st string open, then your 5th, then your 1st string open. So what you could do is, so used to doing it the other way. All right, that's much easier to do it fast. All right, but that's not what he does. He's coming up here to the 4th fret on your 3rd string. All right. Now, I probably would have never known that if I hadn't seen the video of him playing that. And I saw it and I was like, what the heck? That is hard to do. So you can do it either way. If that's too hard for you, use the open 2nd string. Alright, so that's using the 2nd string and just the 1st string. And what I'm doing is I'm using my thumb and middle for all that. Alright, and same with if you use it the hard way. Josh did that a lot. I noticed that he uses his thumb as much as possible. If you can use that thumb to hit melody notes, use your thumb. I mean, if you watch him, he really uses that thumb a lot to hit notes with. And typically he will work back and forth with his middle and his thumb a lot. So same thing I'm doing there. Back and forth with the thumb in the middle. So you can do it either way. All right. So you do that back and forth. You end up back on your 4th fret on your 3rd string, and then you hit the 1st string open. And then you come up here and you're going to start back into your original break. So you're going to hammer, or you're going to pull off the 2nd fret on your 1st string to your 1st fret on your 2nd string, then back to your 2nd fret on your 3rd string. Let's see. And I may not have actually pulled it off there. I'm thinking I'm just hitting the note. You can do it either way. Okay. And then you're going to go right back into your 1st break during the D part. Remember, hit that 2nd string open the 1st go around. All right, and then you go back into the and then we're going to go back into your So that's how he would end it. Typically, like I said, that's the way I did it in the intro video. But and so the ending would be, all right, the same thing as the beginning, but we're going to change it here. So what I'm doing is almost running down through your D chord. 4th fret on your 4th string. 2nd fret on your 3rd string. Then your 2nd string open. 1st fret on your 2nd string. And then your 1st string open. And then we're going to brush down. Start on the, you can start it wherever you want to really, but your 10th fret. And then slide up to your 12th. So sounds like this. So. Alright, so that would be the ending. So let's play that last break so you get an idea of how all that goes together. Okay, and that's Hound Dog Ramble. If you have any questions or comments, just shoot me a message and I'll be glad to try to help you.